driving ROI, aligning L&D function with business. And for this, I would like to invite on stage Yahya Rasheed, who is Global Head of L&D, BCP, and Workforce Transformation Digital Workplace at HCL Technologies. Giving a brief introduction, he is an industry thought leader with deep knowledge of structures and processes within the L&D space. With a career spanning 22 plus years, having worked in organizations like Franklin Templeton, Dell Technologies, Sutherland, HP, and DXC Technology, he has held several leadership positions. In HCL Tech, now he also heads the global delivery centers across Chennai, Madurai, and Sri Lanka. He has extensive experience in setting up and running learning and development functions for organizations in India and abroad. With this, please welcome him with a huge round of applause.
Thank you. I hope I'm audible, right? Yeah, okay. Great. Thank you very much for having me here, and good evening to everyone. The topic given is driving ROI and how L&D today is aligning to with the business, right? It's one of the vital cogs in the entire ecosystem. If you look at in this week and the next week is going to be the earnings season, right? Every leader along with the CFO, CEO of all the service providers will be sharing their earnings announcement. And if you look at the Chief People's Officer will be making an announcement of how many freshers has been onboarded, how many people have internally trained and moved up, and so on and so forth, right? So there's a lot of mix into the whole thing, and I think Gauri elucidated pretty well as to how every, there is a QBR that happens with the Executive Council in terms of sharing the metrics and so on. With that said, I think this topic itself, right, how do we align with the business? It's important from within L&D, when you look at the deal pursuit, starting from the deal pursuit itself, what we do is, quoting some of the examples, while the deal is in deal zero, right, we tag ourselves with the sales teams and understand the technology, the transformation, the digital footprint of that receiving organization, and how and what the skills are required in order for us to do justice to it, to ensure that we do a flawless delivery as well. So for that, we look at those kind of operations footprint, the workflows, the technology stack, and so on, and then we work backwards. We look at from our skill set pool, how many what kind of talent pool that we have, what are the demographic levels of details that we can kind of co-create, and basis that what is the learning intervention strategy that we have to do. Because end of the day, whatever investments that we are going to make has to be judicious. Today I was just going through and listening to a lot of, going through different booths and understanding the offerings of the various learning management systems, learning experience systems, and all of that, right? But when we make an investment, we have to be judicious, because we are going to get questioned on various parameters, on the adoption, on how well the people are able to use that platform. And if we don't have that respective technology, then we'll also have to go external, looking for if we can get an external solution to that whole challenge, right? So based on that, we'll have to do all of those mix and matches and ensure that when the account is ready for reverse transition or day one, we have our people and our entire system completely adaptable to taking over those specifics, right? And the next step is also in terms of ensuring that all the billability is on day one. We don't want to have any negative coverage on our revenue models as well, because that's one of the ROIs as well. What happened here? Okay. So as we're getting that fixed, one of the, in the interest of time, let me go ahead. Okay. This is one of the case studies or surveys that have already kind of done with all the CEOs. So lack of key skills with our people, right? That's the biggest challenge in terms of innovation, in terms of growth, and so on. And why do you say so? Because going and acquiring talent from outside the market is a very expensive proposition today. You know, with a lot of macroeconomic conditions that are happening and different political challenges, there's an immense amount of challenges in terms of investments. You know, if we have to make the investment, we have to ensure that it's all judicious. So equipping our people with the right kind of skills is required, but at the same time, who fits into it is all the more important, right? If it's an L2 or a L3 scale, like I was speaking in during the panel discussions, we have ensured that our base is L3, L2 level, shift left, shift right, platformized kind of an offering, so that, you know, we don't waste money on people that have to get trained on the basics and so on, right? We go with a strategy of ensuring that the depth of knowledge is important rather than the entire breadth of knowledge. So our training plans, our table of contents, all of that is getting scrutinized to ensure that what is necessary for delivering the service at that SLA or SOW or XLA, as you now it's called as experience level agreements, they are delivered to at those levels, right? And that's how we have to equip our workforce to ensure that their capabilities doesn't have a one fit size all, rather it is different for different folks kind of a strategy. Also ensuring that the learning development strategies is ensured to the right masses. We don't expose people who have the necessary base skills, and then based on that they go ahead and deliver it. So this particular piece is extremely important for us to first plot the basic, and then do the construct of the roadmap. And what do we do? You know, basically we ensure that the right kind of audience, the trainees are identified. I think Madhu was sharing earlier that we had a lot of challenges with people not showing up for the training, because people seems to be always in a catch-22, right? Why should I attend that training program which I don't even know it's Greek and Latin and so on and so forth? We don't want to waste time. The cost of one employee, the training cost is humongous, right? Some of the new skills that are coming up is extremely important that we don't lose one single seat. And also we need to ensure that we push as many participants as possible for that particular program, so that we get the economies of scale. So ensuring we gather the feedback, the trainees' feedback, whether they'll be committed to that entire training program. They have the base skills, they have got their checks completed and so on, right? And then post evaluation, we then go ahead and check if the skills that they have acquired, are they using it? We test them with giving them scenarios in certain situational kind of processes where how well they are able to equip, and we measure their efficiencies as well and their productivity to ensure that people have showing a needle movement in terms of how the entire intervention has progressed. And that's how we measure the overall effectiveness and investment objectives, right? That's a kind of a pretty simple one. Earlier, the formula is there. We just have to go ahead and return on investment is how much of invested we have done and the cost of it, and then we get the value. But does that hard saving really contribute if the whole effectiveness itself is under stress? So it's important that we do all of this, and then after we understand that the productivity and the efficiency of it has gone significantly up, only then all this hard savings makes sense. Earlier, what we measured on completion rates, there was all the check in the box. The training function itself was all about ensuring that it's pushed top down, ensuring that the learners complete the course, whether they understand or not, ensure that they are 100%, get a certificate, take a printout and put it in their cubicle. Number of hours spent, and showcasing that 40 hours our people completed 40 hours of training and this and that, and make a gaga about it. The number of people, employees who have been trained, measuring the learning hours against the overall, and also ensuring that the survey at the end of the course is completed, taken, and all of that. But today we don't measure all of this, right? We have moved far more. We have increased. We've gone into certainty into what the organization wants. Do employees feel better after this? L&D today ensures that the employee engagement of ensuring that the people have the right skills. That's an important question as part of the employee survey, right? Do they have the right techniques? Do they have the right technologies that are in place? So we ensure that that is kind of addressed. And then we have the increased competency as well in that certain skill. We put them into new projects where that skill is in demand. We ensure that is that skill error-proof. Have we got the necessary productivity gains by investing in those with fewer errors? And also has the employees taken greater initiative and innovation? So whenever we have done this investment on this training, we've returned back with people coming up and sharing some of the other innovations on the platform services piece to ensure that people are fully understood of all this. And that gives a complete 360-degree view of all the necessary investments returns, right, that the organization has made. And this is what the CXOs review. They don't just look at the numbers and they say, oh, voila, you guys have gone ahead and burnt your entire budget. That's fine. Really happy about it. It's like what you guys have given back to the organizations. And this is where the ROI aspects from a business standpoint makes a lot of sense. Also, in terms of managing the stakeholders, right? It's like you can't expect magic to happen after the training interventions. It's important as L&D professionals to keep the leadership apprised of when you will see the needle movement. A couple of months back when we had a new intervention coming up of shortening the training durations, we looked at it critically. What has been done to ensure that the training duration has been brought down from 4 weeks to 2 weeks, and what will be the impact to the overall cost of poor quality if in case, all of those relationships needs to be established. We can't just go ahead and say that, I want my people to get billable, take this magic wand and kind of wait over it. That's not going to work, right? If you have to really look at it, keep the stakeholders informed, let them know that, there is no magic wand to the solution. We have to have a baseline of all the freshers that are coming in. We need to understand where they are on key critical skills, and based on that, whatever interventions that we do, some might take 4 weeks, some might take 6 weeks, but at the end of the day, it'll be like case-by-case basis where people will show needle movement. It's not going to happen on a generic mode, and that's where this bit of customization and context setting with the leadership is extremely important. Also, in terms of similarly on timeline confusion, sometimes sales goes and gets the deal. They say, no, you have to deliver it in the next 2 months. Nothing doing, if not, we'll lose our deal. Don't get into that kind of pressured environment. If you've got that kind of situation, ensure that what will be the right, interventions that we can get. Maybe a 50% talent from outside that can come up and ensure that you manage the situation, or move from other projects who have been skilled in that technology, and that's how you have to manage it. Also, in terms of understanding impact, this is the most important thing. There has been situations in the past where people used to get filled into various roles, whether they have the base skills or not, and then eventually causing a huge amount of escalations, and that really is not good news, right? We tend to be completely in a firefighting mode. The planning of ensuring that the right expectation is set in the stakeholders has to be periodical and methodological. It's not the role that should get by threat or something like that. It should be a two-way communication and ensure that the right communication is set. That's pretty much I had for on the ROI part. If there are any questions, I would like to be glad to take it. Yeah, I think the gentleman there.
Grant Thornton LLP. We are a professional services firm, so we look after audit, tax, advisory kind of services, and we offer professional services to our clients. Now, my question to you is, as looking after the learning and organization effectiveness, a lot of our job, obviously, a lot of L&D folks are here and they do this for a living. So that's why I thought it's best I asked this question in terms of, we are on the topic of return on investment. So with the hybrid model coming into place, in terms of how we historically looked at capturing return on investment, is there a change in the way now we will look at it in terms of, maybe, is there something that we're looking at differently? How are we calculating it? That's one. Specifically around the metrics that matter, the MTMs. And what are the key metrics that matter now more than ever with the whole change in the way we are looking at things, or rather a re-change in the way people are now coming back in terms of COVID and post-COVID?
I'm sorry with the
Learning that we are offering as a learning center. So moving away from being a cost center to a revenue center through how we manage our MTMs.
Sure. So from a hybrid standpoint, we did some of the large life sciences and healthcare accounts got migrated, and it was on the peak of COVID when there was absolute lockdowns and there was nothing at all, right? We managed to get those kind of things done in terms of reverse KT, and all of the transition, 0-day transition was executed with absolutely no challenges at all. And to that level, it was done effectively. And by the way, along with my L&D, I also managed the BCP part as well, with the business continuity. So it was two sides for me to look at. So ensuring that the people get their laptops, the trainings used to happen, and we had version scores as well. So ensuring the connectivity, their UPS, everything was delivered. We looked at in detail. So that model has, we've kind of checked the box, right? We know how it needs to work. So from a hybrid standpoint, this model has completely a well-oiled machine right now. Okay, it could be both. We call this the fluidic workplace services, kind of our new offering within HCL. So that model has really taken roots, and we offer it on demand. Based on the affordability, based on the client requirements, and so on. With regards to your second question on what the COVID has changed, I think post-COVID, getting people back to work. And also slowly, I think like we had the VILT, we call this a video instructor-led training, is moved into an ILT, but far lesser, to be honest, because what this has done, the VILT model has done, is we are able to get the other geographies as well. Like I said, every seat today costs enormously. So leveraging VILT, we are able to fill the seats. We are able to club some of the nearshore centers and the offshore centers, and able to amalgamate it and offer them as a solution. So far, for the last 6 to 9 months, what we have seen is that there has not been much of a dip in terms of thing, but yes, in terms of absenteeism, there has been, we've seen some bit of it, and that's been tackled via a disciplinary threat, which which earlier one of the speakers talked about. So that's how we are dealing with.
Great, thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for your time today.
Sure.
Please give him a huge round of applause.